Back here, people are on edge after an Ebola scare at LAX. Firefighters in hazmat suits rushed in to investigate after a woman became sick on a flight from New York yesterday. Turned out to be a false alarm. But CBS 2's Finnstrom is live at LAX with more on the full Ebola response. Cara?
Emergency officials say they will be taking a close look at that overall response Sunday, at what was done right and at what could possibly be done better. With the flu season upon us, it's clear that there will be more sick patients to screen.
Better safe than sorry, probably.
Most passengers at LAX tell us they're reassured by the full-scale response to Sunday's Ebola scare. It was triggered by a woman traveling from New York who began vomiting and then told the airline crew she'd visited Africa. Officials directed the landing plane to a remote area of tarmac, and emergency personnel in hazmat gear surrounded it.
It may seem like a bit much, but I realize they're trying to be precautious and stuff.
141 other passengers and 6 crew members were in isolation for 2 hours, while per protocol, a command post and a decontamination area were set up. One couple was traveling with a young baby.
They had ambulances, police. I mean, so many people our planes rolling up, and that's what we're surrounded by. We're all looking out the windows, and it was horrifying.
Meanwhile, authorities made contact with the patient via intercom. They ultimately determined she was suffering from motion sickness. They tell us a big part of evaluating the woman was determining exactly where she had visited. It turns out her travels had been in South Africa, some 3,500 miles away from the Liberian capital of Monrovia and the Ebola hot zone. An airport police representative told us this morning they feel the unified response, once the fire department arrived, went smoothly. City fire officials say they'll hold a debrief of the response. One of the concerns bound to be raised, how airlines questioned sick passengers about exactly where they traveled and when.
I wish that we were doing a bit more screening, had been a bit more on top of it, but I think luckily we have much better infrastructure in place than West Africa, so I'm personally not that worried about the situation.
We also spoke with UCLA hospital officials in Westwood. They say they were put on alert yesterday, staffed up, and awaited the possible transport of a patient. They saw yesterday's response as a good drill. And those hospital officials tell us that they are one of a handful of hospitals prepared to take potential Ebola patients. They say they've been preparing for a drill to test their preparedness later this week. Reporting live from LAX, Finnstrom, CBS 2 News.
Stay with CBS 2 News and CBSLA.com for the latest on Ebola in America and the international outbreak.